Okay, Iman, we want to write a program that defines an object of class type and receive three numbers from the user and save those three numbers as properties in the class and returns average of those three numbers by a method from class to the main and print it.
All right, let's then create a new project as always. Java application. We want to have the average of the numbers, right?
Yes.
So we'll call it average with properties. The property. And in the Java projects, yes. Okay, let's erase this number, erase these comments. Okay, first of all, I need to have properties for this main class of mine, so I create a class, a Java class, and I want to call it average. Okay, so here I'm gonna define those three properties, those three numbers. Gonna create them as publics. So public float should be if I wanted to have it as a float, because I'm going to calculate the average of them. So public float num2, public float num3. So let's get the number from the users. So first of all, for getting something, for getting an input from user, we need to import the Java util scanner. Then let's first ask the user to give us their number with a print statement. So print ln, enter your three numbers. So next we're gonna define our scanner. Scanner input new scanner system.in. Okay, how do we get access to these three properties? First of all, we're gonna make an object. We're gonna create an object with the form of this class, so that we can access the properties here from the from our main project. So here first I create a object average. Let's call this object A. Object A. Average A is equal to new average. So here's our object. We're gonna use that object here now. A dot, as we can see, we have our num1 over here. So I equal this to the input from the user. So I like that. Input dot next float. I'm gonna do the same for the other two properties, other two numbers that I'm going to get from the user. Dot And for all those three numbers, I'll only need one object to get access. Put that next float. Okay, now that I have my properties, let's create a method here to calculate the average of these three numbers. So my method is going to return the calculation to the main project. So let's have it. I'm going to return it, so I'm not going to have it as a void. And also I created an object as a shape of my class, so I'm not going to have a static form of method. So let's call our method avg, and so here I'm going to have an ave variable going to equal this ave variable to the calculation num1 plus num2 plus num3 divided by 3. And at last I'm going to return this variable to my main program. So here I'm going to use it in a print statement, system.out.println the average of your numbers is here. Going to again use my object to access to that variable, a dot. As you can see here, I get that method.
So if we define a variable or a method in the class in global, do we have access to it in the main program?
Yes, if we define it as a public property, we can access it from the main project.
Yeah.
So let's run our program. So enter three numbers, say 5, 2.6 and 2. So the average of your numbers is 3.2. That's sounds right. Yeah. So any questions?
Yes. Now, what happens if we run the program and enter negative number as inputs?
Well, let's try that. Okay, a negative number, let's say -4 to 0. Well, the program is still gonna run the project and give us the average, but if we don't wanna have that, if we don't want our projects, if we don't want our program to run by the negative number or by 0, we're gonna change some of the codes. So I'm going to teach you something. This is called encapsulation. We write a set and get method in our class to try to change the things, try to check the things actually that the user is going to input to our program. So what we're going to do is we're going to define our properties is private. So that's gonna help the privacy of our program. That's gonna improve the privacy as well. Then, as you can see, we cannot access our properties like this. So we're gonna have to do it some other way. So here we need to write another method for getting access to these properties. I'm going to have it public void it's a float. Oh, it's not gonna have a return, so public void set sets num1. It has an input. Let's call it our input value 1. Okay, there's something wrong here. Public void
And you don't define the type of value 1.
Oh, right. Type of our value is going to be float, like our properties. Okay, so here we're gonna write an if statement that if our num1 was bigger than 0, then
we should compare value 1 with 0. So value 1 is our input. Yeah,
right. Then you can put the value 1 into num1, and else let's say our user input a negative number. We're gonna just change that to a positive number and then put it into the num1 variable property. I mean, so else change the here. See, make
I have a question.
This part. Yes.
We can do this without else. We can write if value 1 smaller than 0, and then we can we can put into number in value in negative value in.
Yeah, we can also, just change this part to if our value 1 is smaller than 0, just then actually we cannot do that, because if I change this part to if our value is smaller than 0, then just put the minus value into num. Then what if our number was already positive? That way our program is not gonna put the positive value into our property. So anyways, we're gonna need this if and else statements to write our code for this part. So yeah, that's the way it is. So next I'm going to write a get method. This part is going to return the variable into the main project. So it's going to be a public float get num1. This time it's not going to have an input, but it is going to have an output. So return value 1. No, return num1, because we already, set the value to the num, so we can return num to the main program. So this is how we encapsulate our property, how encapsulate our values, so that our privacy is going to improve, and also we can check the input that the user is going to enter in this methods. I'm going to just copy paste these two parts because I need it for the other two numbers. So just going to change the variables like set num2 and value 2. So get num2 and return num2, and here. Okay, I'm going to do it again for the third number. So set num3 value 3.
So if we don't write the get section, we don't have access to the attribute, to the
no,
property.
it's not going to be returned. It's not going to be returned to the main program. But we can access it and use it here, but it's not going to be returned to the main program. We cannot use our property for individuals. So get num3, and that's it. That's our set and get methods. So in our main program now, we're not gonna call our properties like this. We're gonna have to change the way it is. So here, as you can see, there's a set num1, set num2, set num3. We're going to use that, and here it's going to want an input from me. I'm going to set it to the user's input, so input next float, and again I'm going to do the same for the other two numbers. So as you can see, I'm not using the get method. So why did I write it over here? So let's say you want to just have that number that is entered by the user. Like you want to just print out that number. You can just write system.out.println. See, the first number is.
Can we use printf?
Yes, we can use printf as well. No different,
and then we can write 3 number in one line. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to just use this part over here to have the effect of the ln for us to send the cursor to the next line. So here, going to have the percent
comma
g
%f for the float type.
%f for the
Yeah,
float
and then
type.
yeah,
We have
and
another
for second number,
I'm going to have a dot 2. We have that. Well, I'll show you it later. %f, %f, %f. So here I'm going to
a dot.
attach those %f's. So here, as you can see, there's a get num1 method. I'm going to use it. Then the get num2. Then the get num3.
Yeah,
So
but
here I'm going to
that is true. Yeah,
your numbers are, that's going to be the right statement.
yeah, that's a good message.
So let's run our project. Okay, enter your 3 numbers. Going to say 5 and -4 and 0. So the average of my numbers is 3.
Is 3?
It's like 5 plus 4. Says 9 divided by 3, it would be 3. And my numbers are 5, 4, and 0. Now I have these many numbers after the decimal because I didn't really said that I wanna, have like less numbers after decimal, so I can just write this dot 2f after each percent point, and this time
If you want, if you want to display number with 2 decimal place,
we can use this code over here, dot 2. So it'll be 5, 4, and let's say 8. Like this time, I'm going to have a two numbers after my decimal.
and also we can use this way for average.
Yeah, but it's a print ln statement, so it's not gonna have that.
Yeah, we
Not
should
gonna have
change
that
it.
effect. You can use printf. And the average of my number is let's say %.2f, and here I'm going to have that a.avg. Okay, let's say 6, 7, and -8. So as you can see, there's 2 numbers after my decimals. And that's it.
Can I see the outputs?
Yes, I'll already show it to you.
Yeah, that's 7 or 6, 7, 8.
Divided by 3.
Is it true?
I think so. It would be 6 plus 7 plus 8. You can just calculate it. It's not 7 plus 6 plus 8. 21 divided by 3 would be 7. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very.
So that's it today. Thank you for joining us, and bye for now.